Number 4. The Banker and the Country Bears. First of all, I know what you're thinking. They really made a movie out of this shit? Well, yes. Yes, they did. And the shit this shit was based on is just as shitty as the shit you shit out before. I mean, it's bad. It's really bad. But the one funny thing in all of it is that Christopher Walken plays the evil banker who wants to destroy this place called Bear Hall where the Country Bears used to play.
Take about a half hour to bulldozer to the ground.
Oh, yes. Do that.
What makes this so funny is not how goofy he plays it, but how serious he plays it.
Since that day, I've been plotting my revenge, waiting for the day I destroy the place that brought me misery. Well, that day is tonight!
It's like whenever he's supposed to play something serious, he plays it goofy. When he's supposed to play something goofy, he plays it serious. It's totally backwards.
Do you like the sound of crunching wood? I do.
One of my favorites is when it shows what he does in his off time. He just dances around in his underpants and bunny slippers, and then once in a while, destroy the model of Bear Hall, just for his own amusement.
Oh no! Oh no! Country Bear Hall has been crushed!
Yeah, what do you do in your off time? Get laid? Loser.
Oh no!
But on top of that, there's one line that just kills me. As a crowd comes in to save Bear Hall, Walken just has to say this one line, "This is not over, bears." Pretty silly, but also straightforward. But now listen closely to just how strangely he says it.
This is not over! Bears!
Who talks like that? Nobody does!
This is not over! Bears!
It's like he was saying the line and then in the middle he just realized that there were bears in the movie. This is not over! Bears! Well, he's certainly the only memorable part of this movie. Or I assume he is, considering I just fast forward through any of the scenes without him. But hey, as long as he's there, there's always going to be something good. Oh yeah, and he also does this. Bizarre.
Oh my word!
Number 3. The brother in Annie Hall. This is probably one of the shortest of the Walken roles, but for some reason it really leaves an impact with people. Woody Allen is visiting his girlfriend's family and Walken is her brother. He sits there, doesn't really say much, smiles. It all seems to be going down pretty pleasantly. But yet again, out of nowhere, he says this.
Hi, Dwayne. How's it going?
Can I confess something? Sometimes when I'm driving on the road at night, I see 2 headlights coming toward me. Fast, I have this sudden impulse to turn the wheel quickly, head on into the oncoming car. I anticipate the explosion, the sound of shattering glass, the flames rising out of the flowing gasoline.
Why? Just why? Why would he say that? Why would he confess that? Who is this strange, uncomfortable person?
I have to go now, Dwayne, because I'm due back on the planet Earth.
Oh, and just to make things better, somebody has to drive Alan and his girlfriend home. Guess who they get? That's hilarious. And nothing else is ever made of the scene. It never comes back, they never reference it again. It just comes out of nowhere and disappears just as fast. How wonderful. I don't even know what else I can say except it's just straight up awesome. Hello?
Critic, you listening?
Yeah.
You listening?
Yeah.
You listening?
Yeah.
Listen good.
Jelly donut.
Jelly donut?
Jelly donut.
Goodbye.
I don't know where I am when he calls. Number 2. The Watch from Pulp Fiction. One of the most enjoyable things about Quentin Tarantino is that you never know if the movie is going to be funny, serious, or both. They keep you guessing all the way. This scene is a perfect example of that. Christopher Walken approaches the little boy of the dead soldier. The reason he's there is to pass down a watch that's been passed down from generation to generation.
This was your great-grandfather's war watch, and he wore it every day he was in that war. And great-grandfather gave this watch to Granddad for good luck. Unfortunately, Dane's luck wasn't as good as his old man's. Dane was a Marine, and he was killed, along with all the other Marines at the Battle of Wake Island.
It all sounds very sincere and very touching, but then it goes into just a little too much detail.
The way your dad looked at it, this watch was your birthright. You'd be damned if any slope's going to put the greasy yellow hands on his boy's birthright. So he hid it. In one place he knew he could hide something, his ass. 5 long years he wore this watch. Up his ass.
Yikes, that was really gripping until you brought up the ass part.
He died of dysentery. Give me the watch. I hid this uncomfortable hunk of metal up my ass 2 years.
I don't even like going to the proctologist. Ugh. And just like in Annie Hall, he's only in the movie for about 3 minutes. That's it. But also just like in Annie Hall, it left a huge impression. This is one of the shortest, but also one of the most famous scenes in the movie, and we can all see why. It's strange and unpredictable, just like the man himself. That uncomfortable hunk of metal has brought all of us so much joy. And the #1 most awkward Christopher Walken moment is every appearance on Saturday Night Live. Now don't get me wrong, I love Christopher Walken on Saturday Night Live. The Continental, more cowbell, has me laughing every single time. But let's be honest, his presentation is awful. Every second you can see him reading his lines. In fact, he does that in other movies too. You ever notice that? Look how often he stares off the screen. There's so obviously a cue card there. In fact, look at this scene from the Continental. You actually see him adjusting the cue cards. On top of that, he constantly gets the lines wrong, despite the fact that he's even reading them. There's one opening bit where they actually make fun of the fact that he reads his lines all the time. It's when he tries to sing the song Tomato, Tomato.
You say potato, and I say potato. You say tomato, and I say tomato.
I think you're supposed to say potato, potato.
Jimmy, look! They're all spelled the same on the cards.
Yeah.
And yet he still says a line too early. Watch.
Let's call the whole thing. Let's call the whole thing. Let's not call the whole thing off. Thing off.
And then
Let's not call the whole thing off.
even with cue cards, he keeps flubbing it up. The long pauses, the uncomfortable silences, the constant reading. Let's face it, it's impossible not to enjoy. Walken is one of those people where even if he fails, he still somehow ends up winning. Because it's obvious, he doesn't care what you think. He's just doing what he considers fun. And a lot of us can respect that.
I jumped out and pranked him to death with a tire iron. Whammy!
In fact, they even make fun of it on the closing scene in his DVD.
SNL has a great staff of writers who craft every line of the show.
Really? Because when I host, I just say whatever I want. I free associate and I make up the skits and bits right there.
Well, you're a special exception, I think.
Speaking of which, that DVD is for sale, and trust me when I say it's well worth the money. Every appearance he makes is hypnotizing, even if it's painful at times.
Mango, I'm your knight in shining armor, and I love you.
But either way, it's always hilarious. I hope he lives to be like 180, because that means there'll be a lot more SNL sketches in the future. And of course, a lot more cowbell.
I gotta have more cowbell, baby.
And those are my top 11 most awkward Christopher Walken Hello?
Critic, shame on you. How dare you accuse me of always reading my... Hold on a second. Lines.
Look, Mr. Walken, I don't care. To me, you'll always be the master of cool. You can do no wrong.
Glorious. Before I go, there's one last thing I want you to remember.
Yeah? What is it?
Are you listening? Are you listening? Are you listening? All right, listen.
God, he's awesome.
To make love to the angels of light.
I'll stab you in the face with a soldering iron.